Rally Insights is a tool that helps you analyze the performance of teams and your organization as a whole. The Insights data can identify trends that help you understand and improve software development performance. Rally Insights lets you evaluate the performance of a team or group of teams over time. You can also compare the performance of a team to the overall performance of all the teams in your organization and to the industry at large. With Rally Insights Flow Metrics reports, you can gain valuable insights into how work flows through your Agile processes, identify bottlenecks, and streamline your workflow for maximum efficiency. The Flow Metrics tab on the Rally Insights page allows you to see a variety of charts that show you the current state of work for your selected team. These metrics are designed to give you a look into the efficiency and predictability of your team and their deliverables. For example, you can see when your work in progress count or cycle time for feature work is increasing. These metrics will always include historical data, regardless of the current relationships, because the flow metrics reflect what your team has completed or is in the process of completing. Flow metrics help you focus on the efficiencies of how your teams are delivering work. If you are familiar with the flow metrics on the team board, you will notice that the Insights flow metrics are similar, they just have a few subtle differences. While the team board flow metrics data is limited to an individual team, the Insights flow metrics respect your project scoping, including parent and/or child projects. This lets you view data for multiple teams or for an entire organization. Because Insights flow metrics respect your project scoping, the calculations are all driven by schedule state. And finally, the Insights flow metrics can only be viewed by months or quarters, whereas the team board flow metrics can also be viewed by weeks, iterations, or releases. Each chart includes color-coded lines or graphs to visually represent the data. You can hover over any graphical element in these charts to see the specific data behind it. Hover over an item in a chart legend to highlight that metric in the chart. Select any item in a chart legend to hide or show the metrics for that item. Let's take a look at the charts in more detail. The Throughput and Velocity chart answers the question, how much work is the team delivering? This chart tracks the number of work items that were completed in the selected time box. When Units is set to Plan Estimate, this chart tracks velocity, whereas when Units is set to Items Count, this chart tracks throughput. Tracking your throughput over time helps determine whether the delivery rates for your team have improved. This data also helps you provide more accurate estimates and forecasts for how much work can be delivered in the future. To provide another viewpoint, select an investment category or custom field from the Flow distribution field. By doing this, you can see the specific categories that the delivered work aligns with based on the parent portfolio items. The Work in Progress, or WIP chart, answers the question, how much work should be in progress in my team at any given time so that it executes effectively? This chart tracks the work in progress for each time box in the chart for all work items. WIP is defined as work items that were in progress, completed, or accepted in a given time box. Tracking your WIP over time helps you determine the most efficient levels of WIP that maximizes throughput while minimizing cycle time. Excessive WIP can lead to inefficiencies and reduced output. The Cycle Time and Lead Time chart answers the question, how long does it take for my team to deliver value? This chart tracks how long it takes, on average, for work items to flow from the start state to the end state. It shows the cycle time of work items that were assigned the selected end state in a given time box. If your start state and end state are set to the first and last states in your project, this chart will track lead time instead. By analyzing trends over time, the cycle time metrics can tell you if your acceleration investments are actually improving your time to value. The Flow Efficiency chart answers the question, how much non-value add is in my team's cycle time? This chart provides insight into your team's delivery in terms of value add and non-value add time. Non-value add time is defined as any time that a work item spent in a blocked or ready state in a given time box. Value add time is defined as the remainder of the cycle time, that is, the time the work item was being actively worked. The higher the value add percentage, the more efficient your team's process is. The Flow predictability chart answers the question, how well does my team plan and how good is it at meeting its objectives? This chart provides insight into cycle time and predictability for your team. Ideally, the percentile lines should stay close to each other while slightly going down over time. This means that your workflow is predictable and that your teams deliver value at a fast and consistent pace. Percentiles help to define the probability of meeting different commitment points. A higher percentile means that there is a greater chance of completing an assignment on time. For example, in a high-functioning Scrum team that uses 2-week iterations, you would expect most of the stories, which would be in the 90th percentile, to be accepted in 14 days or less. Cycle time is defined as the number of days required for stories to move from the selected start state to the selected end state. The Dependencies tab on the Insights page helps to identify the defined cross-team dependencies for the selected team or project. The widgets at the top of this page provide quick access to summary information about your cross-team dependencies. The list at the bottom of the page shows the number of user stories and portfolio items that are owned by other teams and are defined as predecessors or inbound and successors or outbound. The Total Conflicts column identifies the number of possible sequencing issues for the identified dependencies. These issues can include scheduling conflicts, such as a successor that is scheduled when the predecessor is not, or a successor that is scheduled before its successor. Congratulations! Now you understand how to use the Flow Metrics and Dependencies information provided within Rally Insights.